Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
It's because we have allowed some fools. We have given power to some ignorant people to lead us. Into Ghana, will you come back and say, these people, what makes them qualified to be given power again? And I'm talking about NPP as a political party, because at this point we have seen, every member of the NPP, majority of them, they don't think. You know why? Because they support these things. Every member of the NPP, in fact, majority of them, not all of them, including their paid journalists, like Omomujejina TV Sunday, because they are excited. Something has happened in the NPP, NDC. NDC went to parliament, and that they basically, at the end of the day, the foolishness of the government, it was not exposed. So they are happy. These are the people you are listening to say, we mojini Ghana. These paid actors. Is everything supposed to be about John Mahama? We are talking about your security. Is this got to do with John Mahama? It's got to do with the party in power. It's got to do with the leadership. It's got to do with Bawumia. It's got to do with Alan Cash. It's got to do with Kennedy Japan or Sekoto. It's got to do with the NPP. Akufo-Addo is a dead vegetable. He is 79 today on paper. Reality, he's 82 years. Akufo-Addo does not care. So I don't waste my time on Akufo-Addo. When the president Oba legalize LGBT, the LGBT community are happy. They are composing song for Akufo-Addo. He does not care. We're one of the most expensive hosts in Africa and in the world. Almost $400 million is no cathedral. Ono Akufo-Addo, I don't want to waste my time on him, because basically Akufo-Addo ono onye obi also waste your time on adia ye disusu ni panu timi fan susu Akufo-Addo, because Akufo-Addo does not think like us. Inti omo mudi Akufo-Addo china omo adwene ya omo say they can still continue with Akufo-Addo's legacy by killing, by making sure our security setup has been dropped to the level whereby they have become barbarians. They will make sure they use bad means, killing to win elections. These people are coming to continue the legacy of Akufo-Addo. And the legacy of Akufo-Addo is what? Kill to win power. The legacy of Akufo-Addo is what? Destroy the economy and blame the opposition. The legacy of Akufo-Addo what? Is divide the nation, be tribalistic, see some chiefs, see some tribe as powerful as some others. The legacy of Akufo-Addo is what? To waste Ghana's money on unnecessary things like building an unnecessary cathedral with the taxpayers' money. The legacy of Akufo-Addo is what? Corruption has swallowed Ghanaians. The legacy of Akufo-Addo is what? The legacy of Akufo-Addo is to make sure that nobody in Ghana, if you decide to fight corruption, he will make sure corruption fights you. That is the hallmark of Akufo-Addo, and that is the hallmark of NPP, because every single individual Akufo-Addo Hubia is part of Akufo-Addo's legacy. So how do you make some paid journalists, paid actors, some foolish, rampant, ignorant souls thinking because we are cans, we have to find a way to make sure NPP continue with the barbarism and the nonsense in Ghana? No. Meya kaniba menya kwasia. Obeya santiniba onya kwasia. Oya hunenia onya kwasia. Think about Ghana first. Who is in charge? Who is in control? Who is the commander-in-chief? What did they tell us before we gave them power? Have they been able to fulfill it? No. Why do we still have to give them power? We don't have to allow ignorant souls who think because of their clan, the way their name sounds, the kind of political party they join, it is their right, their birthright to be leaders of this nation. No. We have crossed that part. We have gotten to a part whereby Enyansafo are thinking. You know why? Because they were thinking about their political party. They were thinking about their tribe. They were not thinking about the development of the nation then. They refused to look around them. They refused to look at what we call governance. They were doing politics. And it's not who will be to say, sir, Pastor Kromfono, your friend, Sa Papa na Encho, Wenya Parkinson, no, Sa and Kromfono, Reverend Matemuno. They were not looking at the development of the nation. They were not looking at the governance. They were looking at political parties. So, who in their right senses will sit and say these people deserve another opportunity? Actually, Sebio, with all due respect, you are stupid. And if at that point that is what you are thinking, or that's how you are thinking, you don't deserve to go to the ballot. Now, we have about 3 minutes to go to the editorial of the day. This is what we are seeing. Finally, I want to say this. if you are a delegate in the NDC, the presidential primaries, now, Bebia Obia Bejinebia Ebetu Abamanono is out. And today, one of the aspirants dropped out and threw the support behind John Dramani Mahama to lead the NDC. If you're a delegate, this is how the voting is going to be. You have no problems. You have no business looking beneath John Dramani Mahama. Okoto aba number one, John Mahama, and the Adeba and I say John Mahama and the Omoma can minimum. If you're a delegate and you want to save Ghana's democracy, when you get your voting paper, you look number one. You fold and you move. Omoma can minimum. I don't know who are competing John Mahama, and nobody cares. And nobody should worry themselves about why they did second and now why they did third. What should be your concern is that on the day of the voting, you go and vote number one, John Mahama. There was Sehubiano, who ni se enye nipa, who ni se sebio John Mahama nkwan that paper. So go and vote for John Mahama and walk. That's all. If you want to save the democracy of this nation, the rest down there, minimum, I don't know where they are coming from. I don't know what they believe in. I don't know what they represent. But at least I know, say John Dramani Mahama, if you're a delegate and you pick what we call a voting paper now, John Mahama represents democracy. He represents leadership. He represents hope. He represents experience. And that is the only thing as a delegate you look at. Number one, the academy minimum. I don't know their names. I don't know where they are coming from. So me and Samanfo say I don't know their credibility. I don't know the experience they have. I don't know any political track record they have. The only thing I know is John Mahama built a UGMC for Ghanaians. Only thing I know is that John Mahama Basantimemu no besi a KJTR. What I know is John Mahama sees schools around the nation. What I know is that John Mahama be by OC chip compounds around the nation. What I know is John Mahama went to the northern region. He built a regional hospital. He built an airport. What I know is John Mahama came to the Volta region. He built roads. He built an airport. He built a university. What I know is John Mahama went to the central region. He made sure he built them what they wanted. He built them schools. John Mahama was able to construct roads. John Mahama at the end of the day built them a factory in the central region. What I know is when you go to the eastern region, John Mahama was able to make sure that they have better roads. They have what we call free SHS buildings. What I know that when you go to the other part of Ghana, there's one person called John Mahama who has delivered. And that is the track record going to vote. And I also that with him. They are kind of sankwas. I don't have time and I don't know them. To be very honest with you, I don't know who is competing John Mahama. I don't know the person. I don't know who want to compete John Mahama. I don't know. The only thing NDC for delegates know is simple. And say John Mahama is number one. You go there, you pick your form. Number one. I see I want to cramp there. Mention because enkahu. What I can tell the delegates or more Ghana NDC delegates and they say, Asia hono and Kape number 2, number 3, no enkaho, otu a wase waba. Inti yanchira musibi a tuaba, maybe chira musibi a tuaba. So uko tuaba to elect the flag bearer of NDC. And number 1 kwa and the right one. The accounting now tuaba tuaba say no. Inti don't go there and go vote number 2 or 3 because I don't know enkaho. A space keke no mo dia to. Enye space a etumi bua NDC. Sa number 2 no number 3 woko ho na wase waba. Wase waba if you say easy for the crampo say enka ho. E de say wato aba na to atwene. Enti number 1 nkwa na obetuma ato. Eno nkwa na easy di ato so say number 1 na the qualified one. Enti woko to aba no to number 1 na ko wanim. Only business with number 2, number 3. Easy una ka kire say enka kire mo say number 2, number 3 no at the end of the day no enka ho. Inti mo amutie me efra sankregwa to be kroma yeldo to all the way to Nyankoma say to dominance no the American say number 2 number 3 no easy say enka ho men ko say aba no to number 1 ne ko wanim. That is all that you know. Who shall near number 1 no number 2 and 3 no easy say enka ho easy say eno no enka aba na ye to no ho o to a wase no. Thank you very much. Now we're going to do the editorial of the day. After this short break, the editorial will start.
Yakupo be kwa maya e sise ya de balo e be ma adwuma abo wo Ghana amo aka obia da fananga na hela enti Made say dia me de ba no.
Na say dwuma asam na ye ka new patriotic party programs are ye die gu ho no ebedu baabi no ye be kra nkofo afiama no ne no ma be ye dwuma ho Ghana amani amofamu no miaminim dodo na modwuma na gu miaminim dodo na modwuma no ayedan agu sese obi a wa dwuma no ansi wuye enya wo photo yen ye say a business for aba na aba enje say mo a sabio munwuma no ansi ye no ye ni so ade enwa e ka ya no enhihye a ade adwuma no baba no say ya nwini nyina afei na mo ba behu ye adwuma ebebu wa Ghana.
The economy is going to grow and grow and grow, and we will have jobs and jobs and jobs. This is the economy of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP.
All right, thank you very much. It's time for the editorial of the day. It's exactly 5:04 p.m. It's definitely 9:04 in Ghana. And I'm so happy. This is the best time. Primetime TV is Loud Silence TV. You can watch us live on Loud Silence TV on Multi TV. You can also watch us live on Facebook. Search for With All Due Respect page on Facebook. You can also watch us live on YouTube. On YouTube, search for Loud Silence TV. We are streaming or we are cross-posting on some very important platforms. Benjamin Wayoma Hamas page on Facebook. They are live. They are cross-posting the show live. NDC TV are also streaming this show live. Honorable Joseph Yamin's platform or Facebook page. They are live. Kevin Taylor, my official Facebook page. We are streaming. Ghana News Thread are there and other affiliates. We are in 22 African countries, including Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the editorial of the day. And the editorial here, very, very important. And it goes to Ghanaians, especially the diehard fans and the grassroots of the NDC. Mr. Dieng, especially to the grassroots, the communicators, the people who have put themselves on the line or they have decided to make sure that the NDC will come back to power. And through their hard work, confidence, these are the people I want to speak to tonight. Now, last week, Yate Nsembebri from Parliament of Ghana. Now, Nsembesi and say, Yakoto Aba as a nation or as parliamentarians, because as a nation, because baby a tibiano ubia or representation or parliament, a chere sal for it's another topic for another day. Now, before parliamentarians echo parliament, echo to Abano, I came out to put a notice out to say, for something be a mehu or NDC muno. My source and our investigations from Loud Silence TV clearly tells us that over 15 NDC MPs will vote against the decision of the party. Now, the decision of the NDC, the decision of the NDC is that they were against Akufo-Addo's government, NPP, adding more ministers. That was the position of the party. I'll see a thing maybe I say. When I came out to say that, I said some people in the NDC will go ahead and vote against the decision of the party. Now, every parliamentarian in parliament is in parliament because of a political party. No parliamentarian in parliament of Ghana today can tell us, and also Betumakachi Obia say, I am here by my own effort. Nobody. So we need to understand the say before somebody can enter parliament. For now, as what we see in parliament, you have to belong to one of the political parties, the main political parties in Ghana, NPP or NDC. As we speak today, there are 136 NDC MPs in parliament, 137 NDC MPs and 137 NPP MPs, plus one independent who is NPP. In the NPP, automatically they have 138 against the NDC of 137. It's a fact. Nobody can dispute it. The independent, we say independent. We all know since that independent came to parliament, he has always voted for the NPP. And he is a product of the NPP. So nobody can sit anywhere else and say, NPP has 137. NPP has 138 MPs against 137 MPs in parliament. Now, there's something we need to get right here. After what happened in parliament, there were so many people speaking in Ghana. And when you listen to the editorials in Ghana, majority of the editorial was that NDC is the problem. When you go to the NPP radio stations, all that they had to do was to say that Ghana today's biggest problem is the NDC. Adentra. Because the NDC MPs, some voted against their party's decision. Now, the NDC as a political party, they can have a decision. And that decision is what? We don't like this. But NDC MPs who were born out of NDC as individuals and over 18 years and independent-minded individuals can decide to take a particular action against their party's decision. Now, NDC MPs are omokoto aba. Yes, and for us to say KT Hammond, Sticker, and Brian Champon should be kept as or should be made ministers. No, if they are proud of what they did, and I said, if they are proud, why do you think that none of them, one person have come out to own up and say, I am proud of what I did? There were over 30 MPs, or more NDC, or about etia party's decision. We need to understand there are two things we are talking about here. The party's decision on the day in parliament was that the party does not want these people to be added to the already bloated government. Now, MPs run on the ticket of parties. The question here is, when was the last time NDC MPs voted against the NDC party's direction in parliament? When was the last time? We want to know, when was the last time an NDC MP in parliament voted against the party's decision? And I'm talking about from 2017 all the way to today. Has there ever been a day where they have voted in parliament? You have seen an NDC MP vote against the party's decision, and I said the minority caucus decision in parliament from 2017 all the way to 2023. It has never happened before. From 2017 to 2023, before there was changes in the leadership of the NDC, did you ever see any NDC MP vote against the party's decision in parliament before? No. Before there was this massive changes in the party leadership all the way to parliamentary leadership, had any NDC MP voted against the decision of the party that gave birth to every single MP in parliament? No, it has never happened before. Now, before the voting, I came out to say this number of people or more than that will be voting against the party's decision. And the question is, why did the NDC MPs vote against the decision of the party and their leadership? And the decision of the leadership was that, and the decision of the NDC was that they don't want what? They don't want Akufo-Addo to add more ministers to his ministers. Now, why should we sit today in Ghana and blame the NDC that at the end of the day, you and I know from 2017 to 2023, they have not been able to pass anything in parliament. Since Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP came to power, the NDC has not been able to pass anything in parliament. It's a fact. I will never stand on my platform and say those individual NDC MPs who took that decision at the end of the day are wrong. I would say they are wrong somehow, because if they had issues with their party, they had issues with their leadership, the best way they could address that issue was to make sure they settle the issue with their leadership. Now, what you saw in parliament that day was because the party as a whole, the caucus, I'm talking about minority, there were a group of them who feel that the NDC new leadership did not communicate, did not do what they want, were not the kind of leadership they wanted. So they had to revolt against the leadership. But that revolt in the result you saw wasn't against the party's decision, which they have not changed. There's a difference between revolting against leadership, speaking or demonstrating against leadership. And there's a difference between revolting against the philosophy and policies and decision of a political party. NDC as a political party, people within the NDC can demonstrate against some kind of decisions being taken in the party. But you never see anybody demonstrating against the philosophy of the NDC, because the philosophy is bigger than people's decisions. Now, those MPs in parliament, some of them, in fact, 99% of those who voted that day to favor the NPP were basically revolting against their party leadership. They were not revolting against the party's decision, because the party's decision has always been static, and that decision from day one hasn't changed. NDC decision, and they say they don't want more ministers. NDC MPs, NDC parliament say they have an issue with some of the things their leadership is doing. So instead of them to meet leadership, they will make their voices be heard more. And what is the way they will do it? They will use this voting to do what? To tell their leadership that some things need to be done right. We need to get a distinction. Now, this distinction has been made. I told you from the beginning, from 2017, since the Kufuor and NPP bar power, no one can tell me say NDC has been able to stop anything. Now, the problem we are having in Ghana today is that we have refused to do what? To blame the current government. We have refused to blame the people who always bring the problem to parliament. I will never sit on this platform and justify the decisions of some of the NDC MPs on the day. I will not do it, because at the end of the day, if you're an MP and you belong to a political party that brought you to parliament and you have a problem with the party, you address it. You do not take that into parliament. Now remember, about 99% of the people who voted that day and said yes, they were having issues with their leadership. They were not having issues with the party stand. Now, when you look at the numbers that voted for Brian Champon, KT Hammond, Stika, that's how to compare the votes among the same people voted when the judges voting happened. You see the difference. So ask yourself, if these people are most more NDC mukoji sika, omoji sika tem, omokoto abama MPP no, other than the same people did not show the same numbers when it came to the judges. The people who voted when it came to the ministerial nominees, they were voting to tell their leadership that when it comes to here, when it comes to our territory, we want to show that we are the MPs and our colleagues, we can move them because you are not listening to us. If the numbers in the judges' result were the same as the numbers in the ministerial result, you could have said yes. Those who were able to make it into the NDC were able to make it into the through the judges were able to make it. But this is a situation. Obama NDC. MPP ministers no almost to Obama NPP judges anabako MPP ni. So ask yourself, why didn't the number look the same? Why was there a change? Because about judges there a nipa 2 and a 3 and a 2 judges from the NDC side. But when it came to the ministerial side, nipa so many voted, and that vote was a vote of the it was a revote. It was basically a demonstration against the leadership of parliament. Now let's sit back and ask ourselves, between CI, between a year revenue bill, any a year what we call the ministerial a year voting, which one will you choose? Yeah, nyoma mi ensane beka ho asem. Now, ebimu se ebimu jiska. Let me state it on this platform. Omu jiska eto aba on that day, there were not more than 3 people. The night before or the day before the Abanom Koto, the NDC through their leader, a year Ato Forsen, they were able to raise 40,000 to 50,000 for every NDC MP to go to their constituencies to file their nomination. Through Ato Forsen and through John Dramani Mahama, every single NDC MP was able to get about 40,000, 400 million old Ghana to go to their constituencies to go pick a form. So do you think it's about money? It wasn't about money. Do you think it's about, and yet somebody thinking, say, NDC4, they can bribe over 40 NDs. Brian Echampong cannot bribe 40 NDC MPs. He can't. The NPP cannot bribe 40 NDC MPs. Nobody can. But the NDC MPs who voted, apart from all the decisions their leaders took, the help they helped financially, they were just sending a message to the leadership. And what I would say here is, the leadership might have not known, or they might have known, but what they did wrong was that they were supposed to be sure that every single petty problem has been solved. Now, let me say one thing here. No NDC MP is bigger than NDC. No MP. If there's any MP in the NDC, in parliament, who thinks they are bigger than the NDC, they should go independent and let's see who they are. Every single person in the NDC today, I'm not going to mention names, every single NDC MP in parliament is in parliament today because the NDC carried them there. If anybody thinks they are bigger than the NDC, they should step out and say, I can go independent and be bigger than the NDC. None of them. That is why nobody has been able to come out and say, I am proud of what I did. What they did was what? A demonstration. It was a revolt. It was a statement to the leadership and to the party that we like the party stand, but we need to make sure some internal issues are solved. That is why when you look at the vote, you realize that how these numbers. Now, I want to say something to some people too in the NDC minority. Nobody in the NDC minority is God. No MP should think that without them, the NDC cannot come to power. Nobody. It does not matter who you are, which region you are from, how long you have served in the NDC. Nobody in the NDC is bigger than the NDC. If that person in the NDC feels he's bigger, he should step away and say, I'll go independent and prove to the NDC that without the NDC, they are bigger. Nobody. That is why nobody has been able to be confident enough to say, I did this, I voted yes to protest, because they know what they did is wrong. But they had to make a statement. And this is the kind of protests that sometimes people do. Some people, they deliberately do that. Some people to follow or fall for it without thinking. Some people also take advantage of the system. There are 3 kinds of people who voted. There are some majority of the people who voted, 90% voted in protest. 5% voted because of friendship to some of the nominees. And the other 5 voted because of greed. Now, not more than 3 NDC MPs voted because of money. So there's no need. And those MPs who took money, they know I know. And those 3 MPs cannot stop NDC from winning election 2020. And they cannot stop any NDC grassroots from having that confidence they have in the NDC and also in John Dramani Mahama, who will be the flag bearer. Now, when this issue happened, you saw that majority of the media that are the NPP media, they try to do what? Shift the blame and put on the NDC and say NDC cannot be trusted. Now, this is the situation. If we have a full house in parliament today, NDC 137, NPP 137, independent, NDC can still never pass anything in parliament. What I want to tell NDC for Ghana, for you have faith in the NDC, and they say it is not a perfect political party, but at least they have shown that they are not zombies. NDC MPs have shown they have shown that it's a democratic party and people can do what? Protest when they are not happy with something. Not like their opponents who at the end of the day from 2017 to date they have voted like dogs. Now, let me show you something here. Since 2017, how many bills have gone through parliament? How many bills now are passing through parliament? And how many of these bills have been stopped by the NDC? I believe, and I'm saying this to the NDC grassroots and people who are in love with the NDC and their philosophy and in love with their flag bearer to be John Mahama. We have too much hope. Our hopes are too high for the NDC. We are forcing ourselves to make NDC do things they cannot do. And I think that is the problem. From the beginning, the NDC fought hard. And how did they succeed in electing Speaker Alban Bagbin? It was through the help of the NPP. Because now NPP for the MP candidates, no. NDC could never and come to me Speaker Alban Bagbin without the help of the NPP. Because NPP Nankasa had their problems. They didn't want their candidate who was contesting Bagbin. That is the only way that NDC were able to do what? Put Speaker Bagbin there. Now, remember, majority of Ghanaians who have so much hope in the NDC, they have so much hope and they have set a standard for the parliamentarians to the point whereby they don't even understand why. And also, I deal with NDC phone to me. Remember, in parliament, NPP are the majority. NDC are the minority. There is a reason why there's a majority and there's a minority. Now, e-levy. When e-levy buy, and NDC foresaw heaven and earth to say, Omo man and personal. NDC did what? NDC walked out. What happened? Still, the NPP passed it. Was the NDC in the office? No. So without the NDC, this NPP administration will still pass anything they want to pass. But without the help of the NPP, the NDC cannot block anything or pass anything. There are two things we are talking about here. Without the help of the NPP MPs in parliament, the NDC can never pass any bill. They can never block any bill. But without the help of the NDC, NPP can pass any bill they want to pass. Now let's go back and let me show you something. Now see this. This is when you go, let me start with this. Go on Parliament's website. When you go and search for this. I need to tell you for you to go and check it before. Thank you very much, Mr. S. Now, when you go on the website of Parliament, search for this and go in there. www.parliament.gh//docs. Now, when you go into the parliamentary docs from 2017 all the way to 2023, let us see what has happened in parliament. If the NDC, and remember from 2017 to 2023, recently, and the NDC for change of leadership, Haruna Idrisu was the leader of the NDC in parliament. They have 137. NPP has 137. There's an independent who is an NDC MPP person. So technically they have 138. Now, Haruna Idrisu, upon all the things that he did, he was never able to pass any bill. The same applies to Ato Forson. Since he became the leader, he will not be able to pass anything because the numbers in parliament that the NPP has, they will never be able to deflate those numbers. Now, the NPP, when it becomes so difficult for them to accept, they will walk. And when they walk, NDC will never have that number to pass anything. But when it comes to the NPP, when it becomes so difficult, what they will do is, even if the NDC works, they still have what we call an advantage, an independent advantage to help them pass anything they want to pass. If they think they can't get it, they'll run to the court. And obviously, the court is another wing of the NPP. So I feel say NDC for grassroots people who are in love with the NDC, they have set some standard for the NDC MPs in parliament. And the standard is so high to the point whereby they feel that the NDC needs to do something extraordinary. With all due respect, limit that standard you have set. Because no matter what the NDC does, they cannot pass anything in parliament. Now, when you go all the way back in 2017, these are all the bills and the Kufuado that has gone through parliament. NDC could not stop. You know why? Because the NPP, they have the advantage. Because the NPP, they know that the number that they have, they can use that number to do anything they want. They have passed the earmark funds capping and realignment bill. They have passed the education regulation bodies bill 2019. They passed it. 2021 Office of Special Prosecutor amended bill 2021. They passed it. They have passed University of Business and Integrated Development Studies bill 2018. They passed it. And these bills have all been passed by the NPP. When you go to 2015, 2016, only one bill was able to pass by the Mahama administration. Only one. Now, Zongo Development Fund 2017, NPP passed it. They had a full NDC numbers in parliament. Let's move forward. And I'm showing you the kind of bills NPP they have passed with this their MPs. So why are we blaming the NDC? Why are we blaming an NDC MPs? They are revolting against their own party. Why are we not worried about the party that brings all the bill? All the bills I'm talking about here, it was presented in parliament by the NPP. All these bills I am showing you, the NPP presented them in parliament. Almost they buy and almost pass it. Do you think the NDC can stop it? No. You know why? Because they have the advantage of the numbers, and they also have the courts. When you go to 2020, Public University Bill, they passed it. When you go to 2020, Real Estate Agency Authority Bill, they passed it. When you go to Real Estate Agency Bill 2020, Registration of Birth and Death Bill 2020, they passed it. Registration Right to Information Bill 2018, NPP passed it. The NDC were there. Could they stop it? No. The standard number the NDC could do no. All that NDC can do as a political party and a minority in parliament is to raise red flags. Is to let Ghanaians know this is what is happening. They don't have the numbers. Whether they have issues in their party or not, whether they have full house or not, the NDC does not have the numbers to stop the NPP in any day. So why are we blaming the NDC? Why are we blaming the NDC that its own MPs were protesting against their party, but not protesting against their party's decision? Because no MP has come out to say they are against the decision of the party that the government should not add more ministers. They are saying they are against something they don't want to talk about. When you go to 2018, Right to Information Bill, when you go to Securities and Intelligence Agencies, they passed that. Now, see the things they have passed in Parliament. University of Skills, Training and Entrepreneurial Development Bill 2020, NPP passed it. University of Technology and Applied Science Bill, they passed it 2018. 2017, Value Added Tax Amendment Bill. Tax Bill, NPP passed it in 2017. Whether the NDC or PO, the NPP passed it. Go to 2017, value added tax, they passed it. You see, 2017, they passed about 2 taxes. The NDC nominee parliament, they can't do FOCO. They can't stop it. Go down, Vigilantism and Related Offences Bill 2019, the NPP passed it. They don't need the support of the NDC to pass anything. Oh. The NPP can pass anything. And it's when it came to Kenufuriata's censorship bill, when the NDC had the NPP for say, at the end of the Domco Parliament, the NPP walked out. Censorship bill, no, when I'm going to start here, and NPP. I didn't know NDC for better Parliament say, Mama, any part time pet, and the passes second for that to me. The same people who brought the bill walked out because they know when they walk, there's no way NDC for we can pass anything. Until the NDC's revolt was against their leadership. It was never against the party's decision. The party's decision stands still. It stands superior. And no MP has been able to come out to say, you know what? I am against the decision of the party. Now, go to a year 2017, Whistleblowers Amendment Bill, NPP passed it. And this is all on the NPP. So you need to understand consistently what the NPP has done. It is out this obiti radio so and now a Paul Adamotri and also some question for radio so can say blame the NDC or yet diabolic because what him say the NPP needs to take the blame. Why are we not blaming the people who brought the bill, but blaming the ones who said, you know what, we don't care whatever you want to do with the bill, because at the end of the day we have raised the red flags consistently. Has the NDC raised the red flag? You Ghanaians, have you supported the NDC? Ghana for and the move blame NDC for our parliament. When was the last time you supported NDC? NDC, they have organized demonstrations upon demonstrations. Nobody supported the NDC. Yet now Ghana can say, where your NDC for? Yanka. NDC, they have had conferences upon conferences. Their flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, the crossroads, they listed the things that was going to happen, that we will go to IMF. They are destroying us. We were sitting in Ghana. We didn't support the minority. So what do you people need from the NDC minority? What should the minority do? Because even if the minority decides that they are not going to go to parliament today, NPP can still pass a bill. So why are you blaming the NDC whilst we have a party? The MPs do confirm. Why are we not blaming the NPP that thinks like dogs in parliament? Because at the end of the day, who brought the bills? Who brought the nominees? Who brought the issue? Yate se NDC akoka se opese ode ministers bika ho. Those NDC MPs now more no. Have you ever heard anyone saying say Akufo-Addo should add more ministers? We were here and Akufo-Addo ne MPs kofa ministers by. Now let's ask ourselves some simple questions. NDC MPs, sorry, MPP MPs or more parliaments, how many constituencies? How many constituents? And which ekosu or more parliament or more constituencies no? Asosha Ghana vokom or more constituencies no mu. Time or more to aba eka say kenoforiata enfis no bimbediso or pia bontene no. Don't you believe say omunim said the omu yeni wrong? Consistently, NPP MPs in parliament. Every pain we are going through today, or how be a Ghana economy, the NDC is not supposed to be blamed. We are supposed to blame the majority. Say yakoto nominees for Weswaba, and then say Chairman Sabosuka say all my people in the MPP, let us fight against this and vote against this. And can we be see? If even the whole NDC says your percent nominees now say we are not coming to parliament. Still, Osei Chairman Sabosu can gather the NPP MPs and pass and say no. But this is the situation. The people who bring the problems are walking free, and we are blaming those who did not do anything. I have no list to show anybody. I will not do it. I will not do it because the NDC did not cause this problem. I will never produce any list from the NDC. What wrong has the NDC done? If the NDC have their own internal issues, it is up to the NDC to deal with it. If the NDC were the majority in power, I have the right to go after them. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the majority. The people who brought the bill, I don't know, say normal MPs NPP MPs can they also think? Are they not the ones in parliament? Who is in charge today in Ghana? Which political party is in charge? Who makes the decisions in parliament? It is the NPP. Who at the end of the day brought the bill to parliament is the NPP. So why should we blame the NDC? The NDC at the end of the day, whatever they decide to do with themselves in parliament, I don't care. All that I care is I need to have a majority that will listen to the plight of Ghanaians. Is the NPP listening to the plight of Ghana for? Omutie Ghana for how? And then a come for your titi radio so, and you see somebody like Samson Ayenini, you see a fool like Paul Adamotri, John Dramani Mahama released a statement, NDC. You are foolish. You know why? Because you are telling the people that the fools who brought the bill are supposed to walk. In 2023, why are we still blaming the opposition when there is a government in power that is still presenting bills? Mamika Semicham, now look at this. See this. Tomorrow, they are going to parliament. What are they going to do? NPP for almost 4 house or busa support passage of key revenue bills. Again, almost sad the tax bill eba parliament. One of them ba enya NPP for MPs go cho say nkokono omuni constituents. And which and conform to Abama omo e de parliament so sanko from ko mu bi. Numbers ekutomo parliament no, they are going to come again tomorrow and pass another tax. Omo the taxes 3 and esa betomo so. NDC for come tax bi abro. When was the last time you heard the NDC go bring a bill and say move for tax in Ghana for so? It is always the majority led by Oseche Mensa Bonsua we guswa me fu adwuma nyina. Now tomorrow almost had another tax bill eba tax no dey no be almost had the tax from me and sabe gumo so. Now let's go back. Let's retrogress a little bit. How many times NDC for caution about NPP going to IMF? How many times NDC for a demonstration across the nation? Yani Ghana for eka so me NDC for me and Kwasia for bonko yan supporting. How many times NDC caution Ghana for say the majority in parliament are numbers no more favor no president no more side court no more side no, they are taking some decisions we cannot stop. What did we say? Between NDC and MPP, who can pass a bill? NDC cannot stop a bill and they cannot pass a bill. They can only raise the red flag. They can only caution Ghanaians that our colleagues in parliament or more numbers say, no, this is what they're about to do. And whatever they do, no, the repercussions, no, any citizens in Yabebre, Busaho, or MP na ofia santimemo or to parliament. Debiano, or for us to say, Yemfa and which to Ghana for so honor, Ninko for Nefa, which will be. I don't know blame NDC for because it is easy to blame NDC because NDC for the Omi and Kwasia for it is easy to attack them. Na nipa na moti yesuna omode obhawo no eto yesuno we have neglected them. And the nipa na omode bill ne bano we will go on TV and see someone like Samson Ayedini saying they are disappointed in the NDC. What should the NDC do? In reality, they all know the truth. But what they want to do is, it is easier to go after the NDC than to go after the NPP. Oseche Mensa Bonsua has sat in parliament for the past 6 years and pushed every bill through. He did not care. Yatiana NDC, MPP, MPs is almost 47 from Asante Memu. 47 omunyina o constituents omunyina constituency ahokyere ho almost some peke no for ata na NDC for say ate yeni numbers no but se yenya 47 omo pese mo beka ho a yenya 20 pekura beka ho a ke no for ata ebe yi no magana ho ato ye nkwasiafo we do parliament no e na omunyina sorry pie kwasiafo mo titi radio so e blame NDC. What should the NDC do? The NDC at the end of the day, what should they do? Should they create magic? They can't. And I will not sit here and justify the decisions of some of the NDC MPs they took. No, I will not justify it. But it should not be the basis for us to let those fools walk. Ghana problem MPP. Oseche Mensa Bonsua. The majority of NDC MPP MPs omufia santimemu. The majority of NPP MPs omufia santimemu. And the Ayeko NDC for can bibia and then Nigeria minoti or chanopa. So omoko parliament na so omoka say omoko pass another tax which is ochina pass 3 taxes. Na say NDC for say yeah dear ye pese nanti because the numbers now NPP can still pass it. I don't know what has the NDC done. And who? Me, I know about 3 people who basically were convinced to say they want to vote for Brian Champon. 90% of those people who voted for Brian Champon, they voted because they wanted to send a message to their party. They didn't vote because they were taking money. But I know 1 or 2 who took money. And those 2 cannot, at the end of the day, nullify everything the NDC has built. No. But I want you to understand that the party NDC, standard na modi omakono omo minority it is too high. It is too high because from the beginning the way they fought for speaker to become speaker now they can't do it. How do you fight for speaker to become speaker? How do you fight to stop a bill? Because their people are not willing to help you. The NDC were lucky because time omodi speaker bano na MPP for like some pano. But after that they have consistently supported Nkwasi Asama to date. Last, me catch them. Ekufuado wants to push you people to the edge. He's going to do crazy things, and he's going to use parliament to do it. And then the media, the account media, yenya santefon fantefo, yenya come see media, and ye jiminti, we will fall for that and say NDC is the problem. So why do you jumana udidi eno kwanya? Why in this case? Why should you blame NDC? Because NDC does not have numbers more than the NPP. NPP has the numbers. At the end of the day, NDC cover bill be by NPP na the bill naba. Into bezo cham say NPP for omni constituency bia kojo pon kromo general say NDC should help them pass more taxes no ono ni kromo eye omo mugu ono ahotwe bi nka omo e ka omo enfa no ho. Anytime I say NPP for we know they have turned into some group of zoo in Moabi. They cannot take decisions. At least a political party, a minority, they can take decisions individually. Sometimes might not be good, but at least there's democracy in there. A bit more said they can take their decisions against parties' directions, which is not good, but at least a bit more nyansa. Now, what about the NPP majority? I might say more. And also be talk about Waku. Oh, say and all that they need is that they want to destroy the nation. Say me again, I would never vote for any NPP MP. Because in Kwasiade Oforiata nyina no Asante 447 MPs or more parliament no because time mo be kasa say Oforiata ye kronfo no NDC focus say the assembly ba mombra ne ntu no san Kwasiafo we nyina dwane kwahye Asante memu say omo nye into why do you turn around and say let's blame the NDC? It is an easy way. It is an easy target. Always make sure the NDC is blamed for things they did not do. And that is the kind of politics that MPP for ya bedroom ne Intendoko TV so it is all about NDC. Why should any intelligent journalist sit on TV and talk about NDC and ignore NPP? Actually, wait, Jimmy. Look at this. These are some of the things that the NDC opposed in Parliament. But after opposing it, were they able to stop it? No. NDC stated Ghana has overborrowed and thus economy will crash. NDC catch the Ghana for say, your parliament, your minority, your red flag. Ghana bo bisia too much. Yan shey ya Ghana be crash it. Ya try ya support NDC for. Ya demonstration bo omo. NDC for pia bon me demonstration yes omo yan ntafo, omo yan wonafo, omo yan kwasiafo. Why are we today blaming them? Their job is to raise the red flag because the numbers are not on their side. They might have their internal problems, which is fine, but at the end of the day, nobody can hold NDC accountable because these are the people we need to hold accountable. The NPP that always brings the bill to Parliament. NDC stated Ghana will go to IMF for its reckless borrowing. NDC as a political party from Haruna Idrisu's time to a year Atoforsen's time, my signal, no, my red flag. Why should a journalist today sit on TV and say blame NDC? They don't deserve to lead. Wait, Jimmy, because you have failed to understand that the party in power presents the bills. NPP presents the bills. So why should I blame the NDC? Other than media, be more Jimmy, sir, especially more Captain Paul Adomotri. See some filthy thing he was doing. Who do you think you are hurting? You are hurting the people who are paying the taxes because they need to know the truth. They need to call for accountability. And that is what John Mahama has been calling for. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, MPP, they don't want to account to the people. All that they do is shift blame. What has the NDC done? NDC vehemently opposed e-levy. Near Tukroma, DNC were e-levy. Under a year, Haruna Idrisu, they did everything on earth. They walked out. What happened eventually? The NPP still passed the e-levy. What are you telling me? Why should we blame the NDC? Into the NDC now, Shemia, your confidence shouldn't go up, go down. You should believe that the NDC is on course. No MP can derail the NDC success. If any MP in Parliament, NDC can say he's bigger or she's bigger than the NDC, Uncle Independent, it is the NDC that gave birth to every MP. So if you are working for the NDC to come to power, this is the time you need to have more confidence because when we say Jimmy, they are blaming you because they cannot explain themselves. Their media, they are blaming you. They are making you think your people are the problem. They are not. Ghanaians want that economic liberation. Why are we not getting it? Who is presenting the bills? And your MPP for. So why are you blaming the NDC? NDC red flags. NDC stated e-levy won't solve our self-inflicted financial problems. NDC for one country or parliament. Oman press conference. Oman can't just say 11 to solve a problem. And they were I don't know something in Paul Adumotre and Kwasiafo no candidate to radio so can say blame the NDC. I'm disappointed. What should the NDC do as a minority that does not have the numbers? Their vote does not count. They might have their own internal problems, but their vote will not count here. Why do you think they are not being hard on Oseche Mensah Bonsu? They are not being hard because NPP for the so-called experts, those who are leading the government institutions, they are all NPP foot soldiers. Do not believe the nonsense they are saying. They are scared to blame the NPP because it is their political party. NDC raised concerns about the size of government. 125 ministers, didn't they raise it? Didn't they? So if they are protesting against their leadership, I'll say Chairman Sabonsu, any Mwano Mudinechino, can they also think? Are they happy the government is dragging the nation into a ditch? The NDs, MPP, MPs, they always vote like animals. Because they don't care about you. Because they know the media will save them. They know the account media will protect them. And the account media and the foolish NPP MPs. NDC stated Ghana will not get IMF deal in March. NDC and Kanchiramo. NDC and Kanchiramo Ghana for say March we yenya IMF deal biya. IMF deal yenya. And then yeti Ghana din kwasi asem. Yeni amasa kwasi afo we treaty abedru ha. The NPP needs to take responsibility. No Ghanaian. Now shall say NDC started the process for Kenoforiates removal. What happened? The NPP went to parliament. Their general secretary released a statement and told the zombie NPP MPs say everybody should go out. And they walked out like fools. Today, see the way the economy is. We didn't get the IMF deal. Why are you blaming the NDC? Because the NDC stayed. Still, Kenoforiates was kept. So what are you telling me today? And then what Jimmy BT radio so catch us say NDC is a disorganized party. You blame them. You have nowhere to blame. Blame Oseche Mensah Bonsu. Mo amoto abama MPs no go parliament so me MPP for no. So omunya nipa do omunim nyansa no mo join NDC they can overturn the nonsense. But my crow omu muso Jimmy. Titi 47 omu fira santimemu no. Omu constituency for nyam so me kwasiafo omunim nyansa. So all that they do is they come to parliament and they still inflict a how etomoso or china almost about parliament. What are they coming to do? Almost the taxes miensa. Taxes almost the bano. I mentioned the taxes. Let me show you. They are bringing 3 taxes. Ochina, or say Chairman Sabonsu, any NDC MPs, MPP MPs, almost the bill baba be pass it. Almost say NDC to me stop it. NDC betuma 136 or 137 full house. Almost to me stop it. A journalist will sit on TV and say NDC is disappointing. What should they do? The income tax amendment bill, almost be passing ochina. The excise duty amendment bill on the person or China. The growth and sustainability amendment bill. Growth and sustainability. We are still sitting here blaming the minority that has never tabled any major bill. The minority, they have never tabled any major bill. Amonfa Bibiam Parliament say Monfa Hochira Embeto Ghana for so. So why are we here today blaming NPP? NDC. Because if today NDC does not go to parliament, from tomorrow NPP can still pass a bill. It's more how I'm saying. I am not going to come sit here and tell you say everything is all right in the NDC caucus. They need to solve their problem. But I can tell you for a fact, until we start questioning the NPP MPs, until we start asking them, so na mo Jimmy ana, na mo diamo ye no mo hu sa Ghana for bre, na mo sa power no san kwasi ade we munim se mo na mo say man no. Until we start to ask those questions, I will never sit on my platform and blame NDC. I'll be a fool. Because consistently, the NDC has shown, say, they have the goodwill. They don't have the numbers. They have the goodwill. They have their own internal problems. But those who have destroyed us are the NPP. Into Chinano, so Pasemia Tro, Akase Omo Ghana na NPP MPs in Ghana, in parliament in Ghana. They are our problem. Into more santimema mu kem and omani mo ayedin NDC bi anhembra o parliament say major tax ochina o MPP or say Chairman Sabonsu oba betra me. If I had my chance, I would tell Atoforsin tomorrow they should walk out of parliament. Yes. If I was I were to be the leader of the NDC, tomorrow I will come to parliament and tell the speaker we don't want to be involved in this. We are walking. We are stepping out, and they will see that they will still pass the bill. Me say, some person who be here, me ato force na. Tomorrow, I'll lead my battalions out. Your person to man run now. I'll walk and see. Still, NPP will pass. And then the better will say, our problems are no every NPP, every NDC. Memo being that. Sir, I am angry with my minister MPs. Fine, you have internal problems. It can be solved. Memo being that say, you know what? NDC, yeah, she. Let's question the NPP. Let's question the president. Let's question Oseche Mensa Bonsu. After Markins, they still continuously the tax me and sa and ebo when NDC na MPP. Into memo biabemu Ghana. I have a problem with the NDC. Makume bu and NDC has done nothing. NDC they be America a party and nipa wom. They have their flaws and problems, but NDC no mo Jimmy. They have Ghana at heart compared to these fools. MPP they will all say yes. Monfa aye aswohye tax no mo ankoka asantefo no so. Omo mudi dwa musika say ye wi a ye beka kire kuapokia, ye beka kire Poladomochi. You beka kire Samson ayenini. You beka kire kwasafo na waka say monkoka say NDC fo anto aba. NDC fo to my enti your problem. Ye jimi nti san kwasiafo nya ba betina radio say NDC anya de. What should the NDC do? Tell me what the NDC should do. Tell me what the NDC should do. Should they manufacture numbers? If they choose to decide not to even vote, the NPP will still pass. Muntie debate, who is forcing for the taxes to be imposed on Ghanaians? From day one, these people have forced taxes on Ghanaians. You fail to call them to book. John Mahama, Ekufuado, and the NPP, they don't want to render accounts to Ghanaians. Adentra, omu we say enkwasi afo. Me see Ekufuado ni NPP or say Mensa Bonsu ni NPP. Asantefo do MPs no, omu Ghana for some enkwasi afo. They see every single person who asante memu so enkwasi. Na unhu obi aso enkwasi wa asante memu a otena nkran ka say yensan for taxes meto eye edwadifo a omu nyoma hye so otena oba begina wo say enkoso. Are we foolish? Why are we making some people that disinform us or whatever? Ghana for, if you support the NDC today, be confident and be happy and be strong. Let the message go. Let them understand there's hope, and the hope is John Mahama and the hope is the NDC. Consistently, NDC actually say they love the people. They want the betterment of Ghana. They want Ghana to develop. They are not Jesus Christ. They have their problems. But comparing them to these idiots, these people are the problem. Until we are a communicator, let the people understand the NDC is a formidable, solid political party that needs to rule from 2025 because they have shown it and they have an experienced leader who is leading them. I have my own issues with some of the NDC MPs. They need to correct their problems, but the issue is you cannot blame the NDC. Let us blame the NPP. Let us ask them questions. Adina de biamoko parliament and amoto abasa yemfa ahochire beto yeso. Munchechire. Yes, ministers no doso. Na mo da ho dibi kan. Munchechire. Mo da ho the tax breye. Adina mo de breye. NDC for some pe. Adina mo de breye. Munchechire. That is what the journalists in Ghana are supposed to do. You don't foolishly sit there and say, what is the opposition doing? What is the opposition doing? We voted for NPP. And we gave the majority to NPP, and it's here from the majority. Let us question the majority so that tomorrow, when the NDC, they are in majority, we can question them. Let us not skip the responsibility of the majority and place it on the minority. They don't have the power. The power belongs to these fools. Why are they voting like zombies? Why are they voting like they don't have wives who advises them? Why are they voting like dogs? They need to vote like humans. They need to consider the plight of their people. They need to think about their constituents. They need to think about the situation of Ghana. They need to be what? People who care. These fools don't care. Let the anger shift towards the NPP and let us ask them the questions. The NDC, they have their own problems. The NDC will come out of their problems. The bigger picture is NDC needs to win, and the NDC needs to win massively. We need to send a vote of no confidence to these fools who call themselves party in government. The NPP is not ready to lead. Ready, so Ghana. We should come out in our numbers to show them that at the end of the day, Ghanaians gave power to the NPP. They didn't give power to the NDC. They need to prove themselves. My name is Kevin Akobedu Taylor. After this short break, I'll pick phone calls.
My never say PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. Osia dem yopo.